अज्ञानतिमरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. All right, so I open my eyes and I see Sadhana Mataji on the screen. Welcome, Sadhana Mataji. Okay, good to have you here on a Friday night. So, I'm going to start sharing my screen and we'll start first with the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 17. And we'll start reading the translations. And let me change the, let me change the view. Let's go to the other view. Okay. Okay. Vindhyavali Mataji, you can get started.
Chapter 17, The Divisions of Faith. Text 1. Arjuna inquired, O Krishna, what is the situation of those who do not follow the principles of scripture, but worship according to their own imagination? Are they in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? Text 2. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, according to the modes of nature acquired by the embodied soul, one's faith can be of three kinds: in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance. Now hear about this. Sukumla Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Text 3. O son of Bharata, according to one's existence under the various modes of nature, one evolves a particular kind of faith. The living being is said to be of a particular faith according to the modes he has acquired. Text 4. Men in the mode of goodness worship the demigods, those in the mode of passion worship the demons, and those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Vashana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam. Text 5 and 6. Those who undergo severe austerities and penances, not recommended in the scriptures, performing them out of pride and egoism, who are impelled by the lust and attachment, who are foolish and who torture the material elements of the body, as well as the super soul dwelling within, are to be known as demons. Text 7. Even the food each person prefers is of three kinds, according to the three modes of material nature. The same is true of sacrifice, austerities, and charity. Now, here of the distinctions between them. Hare Krishna, Simi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Text 8. Foods dear to those in the mode of goodness increase the duration of life, purity, one's existence, and give strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome, and pleasing to the heart. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry, and burning are dear to those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause distress, misery, and disease. Hare Krishna, Sruti Priya Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 10. Food prepared more than 3 hours before being eaten, food that is tasteless, decomposed, and putrid, and food consisting of remnants and untouchable things is dear to those in the mode of darkness. Text 11. Of sacrifices, the sacrifice performed according to the directions of Scripture as a matter of duty by those who desire no reward is of the nature of goodness. Sadhana Mataji.
Thank you. Text 12. But the sacrifice performed for some material benefit or for the sake of pride, O chief of Bharatas, you should know to be in the mode of passion. Text 13. Any sacrifice performed without regard for the directions of scripture, without distribution of prasadam, spiritual food, without chanting of Vedic hymns and remunerations of the priests, and without faith is considered to be the mode of ignorance.
Hare Krishna, text 14. Austerity of the body consists in worship of the Supreme Lord. The Brahmanas, the spiritual master, the superiors like the father and mother, and in cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, and non-violence. Text 15. Austerity of speech consists in speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and also in regularly reciting Vedic literature. Hare Krishna. Kethi Mataji.
Thank you, Meera Mataji. Text 16. And satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. Text 17. The threefold austerity performed with transcendental faith by men not expecting material benefit but engaged only for the sake of the Supreme is called austerity in goodness. Hare Krishna, Vindhyavali Mataji. Vindhyavali Mataji, you might be speaking on mute.
Sorry. Text 18. Penance performed out of pride and for the sake of gaining respect, honor, and worship is said to be in the mode of passion. It is neither stable nor permanent. Text 19. Penance performed out of foolishness with self fortune or to destroy or injure others is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So, Kamala Mataji.
Text 20. Charity given out of duty without expectation of return at the proper time and place and to a worthy person is considered to be in the mode of goodness. Text 21. But charity performed with the expectation of some return or with a desire for fruitive results or in a grudging mood is said to be charity in the mode of passion. Varshana
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Text 22. And charity performed at an impure place at the improper time to unworthy persons or without proper attention and respect is said to be in the mode of ignorance. Text 23. From the beginning of creation, the three words Om Tat Sat were used to indicate the supreme absolute truth. These three symbolic representations were used by the Brahmanas while chanting the hymns of the Vedas and during sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Hare Krishna. Sime Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Therefore, transcendentalists undertaking performance of sacrifice, charity, and penance in accordance with scriptural regulations begins always with Om to attain the Supreme. Without desiring fruitive results, one should perform various kinds of sacrifice, penance, and charity with the word Tat. The purpose of such transcendental activities is to get free from material entanglement. Shruti Priya Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Text 26-27. The absolute truth is the objective of devotional service, and it is indicated by the word Sat. The performer of such sacrifice is also called Sat, as are all works of sacrifice, penance, and charity, which, true to the absolute truth, are performed to please the Supreme Person, O son of Pritha. Text 28. Anything done as sacrifice, charity, or penance without faith in the Supreme, O son of Pritha, is impermanent. It is called asat and is useless both in this life and the next life. Om Tat Sat.
Haribol. Okay, so I have a quick question for all of you before we go to Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is, let's do a recap together as to what we were what we have been reading in Srimad Bhagavatam for the past few weeks. What's the situation? What is happening? Anybody remember? Which canto are we reading?
First.
First. Okay, good. And anybody remember what chapter we're doing? A very famous
8.
one. Chapter 8. Very good. And do you remember anything from chapter 8 that we've been talking about? Anybody remember anything last week? Vaishana Mataji is speaking on mute.
This world is of duality, created as a playground to enjoy. The spiritual world, text 9, I say the spiritual world, the all servitors are also absolute. They serve without any duality. And Uttara went to we were talking about Uttara, she came running to the Lord. She had full faith in him, and she came running, and she prayed him to save him from the Brahmastra. Uh,
Very
so,
good. Very good.
and she had full faith that he only can save me and nobody else. Hare
Exactly.
Krishna.
Yes, very good. So now we are going to continue um, reading after this message to our watchers on Facebook. We have Vijay Lakshmi Mataji, we have Vidyavadu Devi Dasi, we have Neelam Sharma Mataji, we have Dilip Bhai Patel Prabhu, and our Aruni Mataji is watching us on Facebook today, and Nitya Devi Dasi. Thank you so much. It's good to see you there on Facebook here. So now let's get going. And whose turn is it to read now? Do we know?
I think it's mine.
Very good. So let's go to text number 11 from the 8th chapter of the first canto of Bhagavatam. And we are continuing on to from where we saw Uttara last week running towards Krishna, seeking his protection. Okay, here you go, Sadhana Mataji.
Sutta yuvacha upadhara vyachastasya Bhagavan Bhakta Vatsalaha Apandevam Idyam Kartam Dronir Ashtram Abhudyate.
All right. Suta uvacha upadharya vachastasya Bhagavan Bhaktavatsalaha Apandavam idam kartum droner astram abhudyata. And whose turn is it to give us synonyms today?
Mira
Oh,
Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Sutta Uvacha, Sutta Goswami said, Upadharaya, Upadharya, by hearing her patiently, Vach, words, Tasyaha, ha, Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead, Bhakta Vatsalaha, he who is very much affectionate towards his devotees, Apandavam, without the existence of the Pandavas' descendants, Idam, this, Kartum, to do it, Dronesh, of the son of Dronacharya, Astram, weapon, Abudhyata, understood. Hare Krishna. Kyati Mataji.
Good. So before we go further, we'll just have a look at the synonyms. And so when Krishna is very affectionate towards his devotees, what do you call him?
Vatsalaha.
Almost there?
Bhakta Vatsala.
Vatsala, exactly. Bhakta Vatsala. All right. And then what does it mean that if the Pandavas do not have any descendants? What would you say in Sanskrit?
Pandavam.
Apandavam. Very good. And then if
Apand.
very good. And if somebody is hearing the other person very patiently,
Upadhari.
Yeah.
upadharya, right? Patiently, upadharya. Very nice.
Very important word, Mataji.
And then if somebody says, I've understood, if I say, Sonal Mataji, did you understand it? And then if you have to answer,
Abudhyata.
Abhyuta.
Abudhyata.
abudhyata, abudhyata.
Upadhyata.
All right. So have you understood that Krishna is very much affectionate to his devotees? And if you have to say, yes, I've understood, what will you say?
Abudhyata.
Abudhyata. Very good, right? And if I were to say, give me one property of Krishna, what will you give me?
Bhaktavatsala.
Bhakta Vatsala.
There you go, Bhaktavatsala, right? Okay. Okay, you're becoming Sanskrit experts now. Now let's go to the English here. And who's going to read?
My turn, Mataji.
Okay,
Translation.
Mataji.
Sutta Goswami said, having patiently heard her words, Lord Sri Krishna, who is always very affectionate to his devotees, could at once understand that Ashwatthama, the son of Dronacharya, had thrown the Brahmastra to finish the last life in the Pandava family. Hare Krishna.
Okay, so what was the Sanskrit for son of Dronacharya?
Droneya.
Drone hai, right? Very good. And purport is going to come to us from whom?
Vindyavali Mataji.
And is Vindhyavali Mataji removed from her mute?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Purport.
Good.
Purport. The Lord is impartial in every respect, but still he is inclined towards his devotees because there is a great necessity of this for everyone's well-being. The Pandava family was a family of devotees, and therefore the Lord wanted them to rule the world. That was the reason he vanquished the rule of the company of Duryodhana and established the rule of Maharaja Yudhishthira. Therefore, he also wanted to protect Maharaja Parikshit, who was lying in embryo. He did not like the idea that the world should be without the Pandavas, the ideal family of devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So there we go. So let's look at. So we were reading about Uttara, right? The last few weeks as to how she's approaching this fact that there is a Brahmas that is aimed at her and she's pregnant, right, with the son of her husband who's dead. So there's no way that she's going to have another son, right, another child. And so we read about her good qualities. Now Sutta Goswami is continuing on, and now in this verse he's describing some of the qualities of Krishna. And let's see what are some of the qualities of Krishna.
What did you say, Mataji?
What are some of the qualities of Krishna?
Bhaktavatsala.
Bhaktavatsala.
Yes, very good. And one,
Upadharya.
yes,
Upadharya. He was hearing patiently.
he says the patience is also one of the qualities of Krishna.
Vacha. Vacha.
Okay. And then so let's take patience. What do you say? And so where else is patience mentioned in Bhagavad Gita? It's very famous.
Second chapter, Mataji.
Second chapter. Okay, don't give me the chapter number. Tell me in which context is it mentioned.
When Pandava was, Arjuna was in despair, and he was very uh, much aggrieved uh, on whether he should fight or not. That time, Krishna was patiently listening and he smiled.
Mm-hmm. Prahasan,
So thank
right?
you.
Okay, all right. So there's another verse in Bhagavad Gita, and you guys, you are our Matajis are going to like it. And I'm sharing it there on the screen. And who is going to read it now? Do we know whose turn it is?
Komala Mataji.
Is it? All right.
Komala Radha
Radha
Mataji.
Mataji, why don't you give this?
Yeah.
Mrityu sarvaharashchaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kirti vakscha narinam smriti mida driti kshama.
In the name, spell Devotees.
Vashana Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Mrityu, death. Sarvhara, all devouring. Cha, also. Aham, I am. Ud, Udbhava, generation. Cha, also. Bhavishyatam, of future manifestations. Kirtihi, fame. Shrihi, opulence of or beauty. Vak, fine speech. Cha, also. Narinam, of women. Smriti, memory. Medha, intelligent. Dhriti, Dhriti, firmness. Dhriti, firmness. Kshama, patience. Kshama, patience. These are the qualities of women. All Hare Krishna. Simi Mataji.
Hare Krishna. I am all devouring death, and I am the generating principle of that is yet to be. Among women, I am fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Shruti Priyamat.
Thank you, Mataji.
So, so where else in Bhagavad Gita is patience mentioned?
This is the 10th chapter, Mataji.
The 10th chapter, verse
10th
number
chapter 34 text.
34, right? Verse number 34. And in which context it's been written, we have to remember that. Why? Because we are women. And women are supposed to have memory and patience. Both of
A lot
them,
of patience is required.
right? Yeah. So we have patience. Women have
And
both,
his fame,
right?
fortune, and speech. Oh God.
Right? Oh my God.
No, his fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience in women. God. I don't know how many I have in this.
Anyway, one more thing I want to
Actually,
go ahead.
Go
we should write down on a chart, on a piece of paper, and keep it on the fridge to remember
That sounds
every
a good
time
idea.
when we speak.
Yeah, I think I will do that.
that might backfire on you.
But I don't have any specific house though. I'll go to house.
Um, yeah, so I just wanted you to just look at this. This am I still sharing? Yeah. So look at this verse again, right? And we are talking about certain things which are common to what we are reading in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Certain things, right? So what do you think is common between the verse that we are reading there and the verse that we're reading here? What did we read in that verse? What were the things that what happened in the Srimad Bhagavatam verse? Can somebody tell summarize and tell?
In today's
Today's verse, yeah.
Yeah.
So after hearing Uttara, because Krishna is very affectionate to his devotees, he could understand that the
His
Brahmastra
patience,
is going to come and kill the last of the Pandavas.
patience,
So he
Patient,
very patiently heard
patiently heard. Okay.
Uttara.
patiently.
Right, right. He very patiently heard Uttara. So that is one thing that is common, right? So patience is there and patience is here. What else is there? What else was
And
mentioned?
he has fine speech also.
He has
This
fine
No?
speech there, but is it there? Is it mentioned in the other words?
No.
Mm.
I
It's not
think
mentioned.
steadfastness, Mataji.
Did we talk about the steadfastness? And why do you say that?
He's affectionate, but here I'm fame, fortune, fine speech.
Intelligence.
Should I bring the two verses side by side? Right? Let's bring the two verses side by side here and then look at them side. Okay. So let's bring our verse from here and put it here in this window. So now you can see them side by side. So patience you've all found is one. Oops, what happened here? Oh yeah, that's fine. It's just the size of the window that's doing it. Okay. So here we are describing.
Affectionate. No, it's not there.
Okay.
Understanding, huh?
And then what has happened here? What has happened?
Last life in Pandava family.
What he has tried to finish the life in the Pandava family, right? So here
Yeah.
Last life.
that Drone, right, the son of Dronacharya, is doing that, right? And then here what is happening? What you hear? What you read here,
Oh,
Death.
death.
right? So there's
That's what the last life in the Pandavas family.
right. So he's trying. There's death there, right? That concept is here and that
Yeah.
concept is here also. But here, what is happening is that it is Ashwatthama who has taken everything in his hands, and he's trying to take destiny in his hands, and he's trying to remove the last of the descendants of Pandavas by killing the child which is in the womb. But then, if you look at it here, it cannot happen unless there is Krishna's sanction, because Krishna is all devouring death. Even death happens by his sanction, right? And then on top of that, we also understand that he's Bhakta Vatsala. From here, we understand that, right? He's Bhakta Vatsala. So he takes care of the Pandavas. He loves the Pandavas, and then so he's going to take care of Uttara also over here, right? Like that. So yeah, so if you notice over here this and this. Now let's go into and read this, and you might need that, right? Okay.
That is
Whose turn is it to read?
uh,
Sitting.
I think
Miramat.
it's my
Prutipriya Mataji's turn.
All
Yeah.
right. Is it here?
as soon as a man is born, he dies at every moment. Thus, death is devouring every living entity at every moment. But the last stroke is called death itself. That death is Krishna. As for future development, all living entities undergo 6 basic changes. They are born, they grow, they remain for some time, they reproduce, they dwindle, and finally they vanish. Of these changes, the first is deliverance from the womb, and that is Krishna. The first generation is the beginning of all future activities. Um, Sadhna Mataji.
Thank you. The 7 opulences listed, fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience, are considered feminine. If a person possesses all of them or some of them, he becomes glorious. If a man is famous as a righteous man, that makes him glorious. Sanskrit is a perfect language and is therefore very glorious. If after studying one can remember a subject matter, he is gifted with a good memory or smriti, and the ability not only to read many books in different subject matters, but to understand them and apply them when necessary is intelligence, meda, and another opulence. The ability to overcome unsteadfastness is called firmness or the ability to overcome unsteadiness is called firmness or steadfastness, triti. And when One is fully qualified, yet is humble and gentle. And when one is able to keep his balance both in sorrow and in ecstasy of joy, he has the opulence called patience. Kashma.
Very nice. So now let's look at these qualities: fame, fortune, fine speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and patience. Out of these, how many qualities have we heard so far about Uttara?
Uh,
Steadfastness.
And why would you say that?
So she is steadfast in her faith in Krishna that
Mhm.
he will be able to save Maharaj Parikshit.
Okay, good. So that is one. Okay.
and her memory to pray Krishna. Is that right, Mataji?
She remembers the fact that she has to
Yeah.
verse Krishna. Okay, that's very good. What about intelligence? Is she intelligent?
Intelligence also.
Yeah,
Intelligence.
yes,
He is the only
Mataji.
one can save her.
She has the intelligence to make the decision, the split second
Decision.
decision when an arrow is coming at her as to what she should do. Should she duck? Should she run back? Should she run back? Should she run back to her home? Or should she go to Krishna? Right?
No, she did
Right.
intelligently.
Yeah.
Right.
And Mataji, fine speech
Mm.
that she glorifies the Lord,
Mm.
and then she tells him that please save me,
Mm.
not directly come, please save me, save me, like generally women do. So you say this is a very nice quality, fine speech.
Right.
First glorify and then ask for the
Right.
boon.
Right. And then what else does
And,
she have?
Mataji, fame, she has fame.
Very good. And what is the fame that she has?
I mean, she's, wife of Abhimanyu. So,
She's wife of Abhimanyu, so she's famous as that. And there were some other things also we discussed earlier.
She's
daughter of Virat.
She's the daughter
learned.
of Viras, a king, so she's a princess. Okay, that brings her the fame. Okay,
And Mataji, she is intelligent also, right? Because in distress, she knew what's the right thing and how to approach the Lord and glorify Him and then ask for the help.
right, right.
That's real intelligence.
Yes, yes. Okay.
She has fame means she used to be a good dancer in England. Dance. Is
Who
that
used
the
to be your
one?
dancer? Uttara?
Uh-huh.
And why do you say she's a dancer?
Because she learned from Brihannala.
Arjuna.
Yeah, Arjuna was teaching her.
Arjuna.
She learned it from Arjuna.
And
And from
the
whom did Arjuna? Yes, very nice. Yeah,
Brihannala. He became
yeah,
Brihannala.
yeah. Right. So this is there, right? So we see that she has got fame, she has got fine speech, she has memory, intelligence, steadfastness, devotional patience. What about fortune?
She is
Fortune also.
fortunate, Mataji, that you see, in such a distress time also, she, I mean, had Krishna in front of her and she went up to him and he saved her son. So she is very fortunate, Mataji.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
She's also fortunate because she has the descendant of the Pandu family.
that's what.
She's carrying the,
She, yeah.
family in her womb. She's the mother of she's the mother of such a famous being.
And then she's related to also.
Yeah, the mother of such a famous.
And another thing, Mataji, good fortune is that her father, when he came to know that she has learned dancing from Arjuna, when he comes to know, he wants him to marry her, but he says, no, I cannot marry because I'm her guru, and but she can marry my son. So that is also good fortune that she got married to Abhimanyu,
Yes. Yes.
the family of Pandavas.
Yes. She's the daughter-in-law
And they all were devotees.
The daughter-in-law of Arjuna.
of devotee family. Yeah, and she's herself a
That is
Devotee
Krishna's
family.
favorite devotee, Arjuna.
right.
Mataji, getting married in a devotee family is a real fortune, Mataji.
Getting married in a non-devotee family is also a fortune because it teaches you patience.
That's
Topic we are discussing today.
Mataji, I have a friend, her husband is a devotee. Both the boys are devotees, and Mataji, when they do kirtan, it is so wonderful. And the other day, at that time, then when Kathy Mataji's, you see, for the condolence, we got together. That time, that Mataji was giving, she was on the harmonium, husband was playing the kartal, and the son was playing the
yeah,
mridang.
yeah.
It was such a wonderful, you see, combination that rare. It is rare to find, Mataji. So
Yeah,
it is really good fortune,
yes,
Mataji.
yes. Ananya Radha Mataji, and such a beautiful voice. She's a disciple of His Holiness Bhakti
Yes.
Maharaj. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was such a. It was yeah. I won't bring up unhappy topics. So let's go look further. Yeah. So you see, now in Kali Yuga, what do you say about patience in Kali Yuga? What are your thoughts
It's,
about that?
it's not much, Mataji.
Can you give me examples of impatience?
Patient.
Mataji, in my view, in Kali Yuga,
You have to think so hard.
No, no, no.
Mataji, in Kali
Any
Yuga,
kind of impatience, Mataji?
Yeah, any kind. You'll take all.
Road rage.
Road rage.
Actually,
There you go. Yep. Yes, Vindhyavali Mataji.
actually, if I think, I don't know if suddenly it's patience or anything, but Parikshit Maharaj did that. And then that Shringa did without any thinking anything, suddenly, if he would have had patience, it would not have been done.
Lack of patience. Yeah, impatience. Yeah,
Patience,
yeah. Both of
both
them.
of them.
Both of them. Very good examples, right? And then, of course, as Kali Yuga is progressing, the impatience is actually growing more and more and more. Road rage is one of them, right? And trying to cut through lines, cut through lanes, because everybody is in a rush to go. And as Vashika Prabhu says, that you look at the freeway, cars are going from here to there, and we don't know where they're going.
Yeah.
Right? At least there's Jagannath Puri. You go to Jagannath Puri. It's how many of you have been to Jagannath Puri other than Vindhyavali
I
Bhataji?
was there every week. I used to go.
Yeah, Vachara Mataji is on there, right? So it's a old town, and but it's so beautiful because from any direction that you look, you see the temple is the center of the city.
Yeah.
And so everything, you see all activities are revolving. You can see that they're revolving on there. Where people are going, where are you going? In general, they were going towards the temple, right? I had the fortune to start my work in Haridwar. And there also there was a main road, every city has a main road. So there's a main road in Haridwar. And as ever, if anybody headed in that direction, where are you going? Har Ki Pauri, it's going over there towards the Ganges. So it's a nice feeling where God is the center of a city. A city like that, and so anyway, back to the patience part of it. um, that of course we don't have patience. I mean, if you look at the gadgets, look at the microwave. What does microwave tell you about patience? What are your thoughts about that?
No need for long time cooking, right? You can do everything quickly.
Quick, yeah. Instapot.
Yeah. I
Pressure
had
cooker.
like one of the vegan restaurant. They said good food cannot be cooked at microwave speed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So you see, we have
Yeah, if
patience
you cook
and
slow, that tastes good.
yeah, it is good,
If
and
we
that's
cook
why you see
slow,
that kids will say that grandma's cooking is so nice. Where's
yeah,
grandma's? Because grandmas are
slowly,
slowly, nicely pouring love and affection into.
stirring slowly.
Because if you're not patient, then that consciousness also gets into the food, and people are going to do that, and that'll make the food in we read in chapter 17, right? The food can be of three modes of material nature.
Three months
So
of
yeah, so it can go and affect our consciousness, can go and affect the food also there. So this is about patience. Now, what do you think about patience? Um, and Prabhupada, of course, I'm going to ask you about patience in devotional service, right? Now, Prabhupada talks and gives such a nice example. He says that when a woman gets married, and it's most of the time, a large percentage of the time, they like to have a child. And just because a woman wants to have a child doesn't mean that she's going to get one. Right? They have to be patient. And even after she gets pregnant, she has to be patient. She has to wait for 9 months.
After she has the baby, also she has to be patient.
Of course, many times.
Take care of the baby.
Yeah, yeah, like that. So sometimes, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The family around us can sometimes teach us patience. Like that. So there's a verse.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna Mataji.
yes,
I feel Mataji in Kali Yuga. Uh, I mean, we are very fortunate that we got into Krishna consciousness because of the devotees. They brought us to Krishna consciousness, Mataji, and it has taught us so much. And it is very important to be patient. And we are fortunate that we learned it from the Shastras that it is very important to be patient.
yes,
And it comes, patience comes. In Kali Yuga, it is very important quality which one should
yeah,
have. Uh,
yeah.
yes, Mataji.
And
So
sometimes
we are very fortunate.
and sometimes patience can also come as a concomitant factor. When you realize when you have a higher taste, then most of the things that feel that the most of the impatience comes from being on the hovering on the material plane. For example, like I'm in my big nice car, right? I'm in my convertible. How dare you take me over? No, I have to be in the lead. I have to be in the front. I. When that I goes away, who cares? Who cares who somebody cut me off? Right? So some of the patience also comes from there. And also as we evolve in our consciousness, sometimes we also we start seeing others in a different light. Their behavior, for example, if somebody's constantly doing something that is irritating you, so where's the patience, right? And then if you raise yourself to a higher point, it's like, I'm feeling sorry for this jiva soul. What kind of a body, what kind of a subtle body
Yes.
jiva soul has got, right? So immediately the tables are completely turned, right? From being impatient, you go to the other extreme of being compassionate. And that is that changing, that move from being impatient to a person is compassion. It's a 180-degree turn. It's a complete change. And that is what brings you peace, inner peace. So when
Yes.
we are doing devotional service, one has to understand that it is a devotional service, and like being a spiritual person, the spirituality. I'm spiritual, so it's not just a feeling. Because in religion also, if you just have feeling, then you can become a fanatic. If it's all feelings, because the moment you feel for your religion, that's it. All other religion are bad. I should take a knife and cut anybody who doesn't follow my religion, because there is no knowledge. There's just feeling, 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 feeling. But when you have a knowledge and you say Sammoham Sama Sarva Bhuteshu, Krishna says I am equal to everybody, right? And then he says Bija Pita, right? We read that in 14, that Aham Bija Pita, right? I am the one who the seed giving father. So when you say that Krishna is there, then when you have the connection to a higher level, that there's Krishna that is connecting everybody there, right? Then you won't care of a religion or non-religion, a person is professing some other religion. You'll try to go a little bit deeper into the philosophy that why do we have different religions? After all, before Kali Yuga, There's only one religion. There's no Christianity, there's no
Yeah.
Muslims, there's no Jews. So why in Kali Yuga you have got that? Because souls that come in Kali Yuga are special souls. They have got a very different personality. They can't handle Satyuga and Dwapar and Treta for the peculiarities and for the whatever the ways are. They can't follow a very strict way of life. So that's why you have so many varieties of religion, right? At least you do this much. If you can't be a Dhruva, at least be just this much. And so then with knowledge, so it's very, very important. And then I said that when we are trying to go towards spirituality, that you also have to be patient. And that patience comes from the knowledge that you've had from the Shastras. And that's why in the previous chapter, 16th chapter, he says that you have to know Karya Akaryam, you Shastra with him. You have to understand that from the Shastras, what is right and what is wrong. So, so I don't have to go and kill anybody who is not a Vaishnava like that, right? And it's very interesting thing that we have to, and these qualities that are there in women, it's very, there again. So when in Kali Yuga, there's a lot of disturbance, right? Kali Yuga is characterized by disturbance. Above all, always disturbed, right? People in Kali Yuga are short-lived, they're quarrelsome, they're lazy in devotional service, they're misguided, they're unlucky, and always disturbed, right? Always disturbed. So there will always be disturbances kind of coming around you, right? So then it is very, very important. It's very, very important that we use, we use our intelligence. We use our intelligence to gather some knowledge. And when a situation has come across in front of us, then we have to make sure that we don't act impulsively. Impulsive action: take a dead snake and put it around the neck of a sage who is in meditation.
Sage.
This is impulse. And I'm not pointing fingers at Parikshit Maharaj. I'm just saying all of us have at one point or the other done something which is figuratively similar. Maybe we did not actually pick up a snake because we were so scared of a snake, and also because we didn't find a hermit. But what he did was basically an insult, right? He was insulting him. And so we have done that to others, right? So we have to understand that we don't have to act impulsively, but we have to act patiently. And it's very interesting thing to understand about patience is that the word patience, you're going to laugh now. The word patience comes from
Patience.
Patient. Patient, mother.
getting impatient. Why
Waiting to hear from you.
Why is she not speaking? So the word patience actually comes from Latin. It comes from a Latin word which is called pati, P-A-T-I, which means suffer. Now think about it. When you are being patient,
Yeah.
you really are suffering from inside, because there's something boiling.
That's why you didn't answer, Mataji. Varsana Mataji. He's waiting twice, she said.
Yeah, so patience comes from peti, which means that we are going to suffer. So how important is patience in devotional service? I've been chanting 16 rounds for 6 months. Krishna, why have you not appeared before me? It's my right now. I'm qualified. You come here and just show yourself to me. No, patience can take as long as it is, as long as it takes. The bhakta doesn't care about it. Doesn't care about that at all. Right? And so
He also tests our patience, Mataji. Krishna also tests our patience.
Yes. Yes. And the test will become more subtle as you advance in devotional service. Right? See,
Mataji, in this context of
go ahead.
Parikshit Maharaj was also very patient when he was cursed by the son of the sage, he was very patient and patiently handled it. That even though he could have reacted, but he did not react.
So how do you how do you
So
contrast then his behavior? How do you contrast that behavior, his behavior before curse and after curse? How do we understand that?
That how
Mother,
that's
Actually,
the
my
mind, I think.
grandmother had told me the story that the mukut that he was wearing actually came from Jarasang's mukut. So it was not that he earned it, it came in inheritance. And when the mukut came, they did not do it like they did not take it righteously. So
Purifying.
any gold that comes not in a righteous way is the sitting place for Kali Yuga, because he told Kali to sit into the gold, right? Which is not taken in the right way. So that is why the Kali was sitting in that mukut. So that's what my grandmother used to say, that whenever you do a wrong behavior, that spoils your intelligence. And that's why you take a wrong decision, that you cannot identify anything between what is right and what is wrong. So that story actually symbolizes our life situation also.
Yeah, yeah. And yes, and sometimes we also have to remember that just as Arjuna was put into that situation, right? Otherwise, Arjuna's behavior, like he's crying, like what kind of a Kshatriya are you? You crying, right? I mean, look at Parushuram. His father said, "Kill your mother." He killed her. That's Kshatriya behavior,
He's also like that.
right?
He doesn't have patience.
Right? He did that. And so sometimes and so Arjuna also, they're getting so super confused. It's not that Arjuna was not taught spiritualism. It's not that he's coming from just any family. He didn't know. He knew it. But then Bhagavad Gita had to be spoken. Similarly,
Yeah,
Bhagavatam also has to be spoken. So sometimes see,
because of Parikshit Maharaj.
so sometimes you'll notice that people also behave in a strange way, and Krishna makes them. So there's always the Krishna's plan that is underlined and that is constantly going there, and then you can tie it with all the stories, the grandma stories that which are explaining, going a little bit deeper into and bringing out more nuances and connecting the story even better, like the Jarasang crown that Khyati Mataji has talked about. And by the way, I've been just ignoring Facebook. I didn't realize that I was getting answers from there as well. Aarti Mataji, Archana Mataji also joined us there. And we got some answers. Okay, fine speech, death. Yes, Vidyavadu Mataji says it appears she has all the qualities. Yes, you are right. She has all the qualities listed there about a woman. So let's go further and see, and to polish off our session today with what do the Shastras say about patience in the life of a devotee, or patience in the context of devotional service. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a words here, and um, whose turn is it to read? Do we remember?
Last Shruti Priya Mataji read, so it is Meera Mataji's
All right.
turn or Sadhana Mataji's turn. I forgot the reading order.
Okay.
I think to Meera Mataji.
Yeah, so if Shruti Priya Mataji read, then it is Sadhana Mataji's turn.
Sadhana Mataji, yeah.
Okay, Sadhana Mataji, go.
Sadhana Mataji.
Okay. Is Utshahan Nishchat Nishchayad Daryarat Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangatai Tyagyat Sato Ritihe Sadvir Bhakti Prashidayati.
And from which scripture is this? Does anybody remember?
The nectar of devotion.
Instruction.
Instruction.
Nectar of instruction, right? Upadeshamrita, verse number 3. It's a very, very famous verse. It talks about, what does it talk about? Okay, let's go and look at the translation. Coming from Meera Mataji.
There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. being enthusiastic. 2, endeavoring with confidence. 3, being patient. 4, acting according to regulative principles such as
Shravanam.
sravanam, kirtanam, visnoha, smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, what do you find common from here to the verse that we are reading?
Being patient.
Being patient.
Regulative
Regulative
principles.
principle.
So, what regulative principles did Uttara follow?
Smaranam.
She did Smaranam, she thought about Krishna. Did she do Kirtanam?
Kirtanam.
Okay. What about number 2?
No Smaranam.
Yeah.
Endeavoring with confidence.
Did she have confidence? On whom did she?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, she had confidence. That's why.
Okay. All right.
She was patient also, that before giving her problem, presenting her problem, she glorified the Lord.
Yes.
She had patience.
Yes. There you go. There you go. Okay. So patience is also a very important part of devotional service, and sometimes it takes a very long time for results to appear before you. And it's not that the results are not there; it's just that you're not able to measure it, right? So every instrument has got a least count, and what that means is that, for example, if you want to weigh something, right, and you have got a weight which is 1 gram. So no matter what size of an object that you put there, right? If it is 1 gram or it is less than 1 gram, you won't be able to distinguish. Anything less than 1 gram also it will show as one, like that. So similarly, we have to understand this thing that when we are doing devotional service, there could be certain changes that cannot be measured accurately, right? If I have a yard, if I have got a stick which is 1 yard long, and if I give you a piece of cloth, right, you can't tell whether it is, how much shorter it is than a yard, because the least that it can measure, the smallest that it can measure is 1 yard, right? If you give a 2 yard cloth to it, then you can use the measure 2 times on that cloth and you can say this is 2, right? Like that. But there's a least that the least that it can measure with accuracy is 1 yard. Anything less than 1 yard, it won't give you accurately. So similarly, in our devotional life also, sometimes the changes are happening, but you're not able to measure them, accurately, very precisely. For example, when it comes to chanting the rounds, I can measure them because I've got a japamala, I've got 108 beats. If I chant on all of them, then I can say I'm done. It's easy to measure, right? And somebody asks you, what is your progress? You can say, yes, last week I was doing 2 rounds every day. Now I'm doing 3 rounds every day. You can measure that progress, right? Now, but there are other changes which are imperceptible, and immediately it might not appear to you. Like even when you, for example, when you sit through a lecture, so many points are discussed in a lecture, right? Or when you read a book, like Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, you're exposed to so much of knowledge there. And you might just, one might just think that, okay, fine, now I have finished reading the Bhagavatam. Where is the hello? I can't see the hello around me. Right? The hello will not appear. But slowly over a period of time. Slowly over the period of time, But the fact that you don't have a halo doesn't mean that you have not progressed. You have progressed. It's just that it is imperceptible. You don't know. But when the situation arises, Krishna from Sarvasya Chaham Hidi Sannivishto Matta Smritir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. So from within the heart, he will bring that verse to you. He'll bring that remembrance to you. And then you will say, okay, now, all right, this is how it is going to be happening. So that requires patience. Patience is required in devotional service, but it will come. It will come. That is the nature of devotional service, that it will affect anybody who comes in touch with. with the devotional service like that.
I had to pray God a lot, Mataji, for patience.
He's a reservoir of patience. He will give you.
For
Yeah.
me, he'll pray.
Yeah.
I had to try a lot.
Always be, yeah, we should always be endeavoring for perfection, endeavoring to for better, improvements like that. So yeah, if you don't have patience, you think you don't have patience, then endeavor to do that, right? And once, twice, thrice, four times, 100 times, 1,000 times, we could just fail,
Trying hardly.
right? I mean, we hear the story about I've told you all so many times about Narad Muni, and he's walking, and um, he sees a ascetic, he's performing penance, and so he says, hello, how are you? And the talks are going on, and he says, well, Narad Muni, where are you off to? He says, I'm going to Vaikuntha. So he says, hey, you're going to Vaikuntha? Can you please ask Vishnu when I'm going to be liberated? And then he says, okay, I'll ask you. And then he's on his way, and then he meets a cobbler, the one who does the dirtiest of the work, right? He takes your shoes and he repairs them. And so he's there, and he's got his that little water pot they keep to make the leather a little soft before he can cut it, and also for his instrument. So he's there, and he dips down once in a while. He says Vishnu like that, remembers Vishnu, and then he's doing his job like. And then Narad Muni goes and talks to him, true to his nature, talks to him also, and then he discloses as he's off to Vaikuntha. And then so this cobbler says, "Oh, you're off to Vaikuntha. Please offer my respectful obeisances to Vishnu." And then Narad Muni goes there to Lord Vishnu, and he says, the Vishnu says, okay, fine, how are you, and all that. They talk about this, that, and that. And then since Lord is all knowledgeable, he says, so who have you been meeting? How did your meeting with the cobbler and the ascetic go? So Narad is like, oh wow. So then he says, yeah. So the ascetic's there. He's such a pure devotee. He's there. He doesn't even have any clothes on his body. He just has a loin cloth. And then he's undergoing so many penances and austerities. We read that in 17th chapter today. And so he goes and says that so he was asking for, when will you get liberation? And so he said that, well, tell him that he will get liberated in 3 lifetimes. And he says, okay. And then he also says that he also wanted to know that, how is Vaikuntha, because that's where he's aiming for. What was Vishnu doing? And he said, you just tell him that Vishnu was passing an elephant to an eye of a needle, like that. He says, okay. Narad is confused. He said, what does that mean? He said, no, you go. You go and you just tell him that. And then he also tells him about the cobbler. And Krishna says, well, you know what? He sits under the tamarind tree. And for those of you who have seen a tamarind tree, you know that the leaves of the tamarind tree are very, very tiny. My sister is watching. She's a botanist. She can also tell you what type of leaf is that called. But anyway, so he says that, as many leaves are there on that tamarind tree, he'll have to take so many lifetimes. He'll have to take birth so many times. As many times, like till all the leaves on that tamarind tree fall down. He will have to live for as long as all the leaves in the tamarind tree have fallen down. So then Narad is, well, he says that's fine. He's a cobbler, right? Who is he? Yes, of course. He's supposed to take so many lifetimes, right? We all have taken millions of births, and now we are here grappling with the 7th chapter, 8th chapter of Bhagavatam. Where is our progress? What's the cobbler doing, right? Yes, he should take so many births. So he's just, is convinced. He comes down and he goes and meets the ascetic first, and then he says, yeah, so you met Vishnu. Yeah, what was Vishnu doing? So he says that Vishnu was passing an elephant to the thread of a needle. So he says, cut it out, Narad Muni, come on, don't joke with me. Tell me, what was the answer to the question that I asked? So then that man says that, well, he said 3 more births. And he says 3 more lifetimes of birth before I get liberation. I don't think it's worth it. This is like cheating. This is fraud. It's better, why did I do so much of, penance and austerity and things like that. I'm not getting it in this fight. But where's the guarantee I'll get it even in 3 lifetimes? This is not proper, like that. Then he goes to the cobbler, and the cobbler is also talking, does Dandat Pranams to Narad Muni now because he has come back from Vaikuntha. So they start chatting, and then he says, okay, yeah, so how does the Lord look like? What was he doing? He says he was passing an elephant to the thread of a needle. And he says, yeah, why not? Hail the Lord, praise the Lord. Like, anything is possible. After all, he puts millions of banyan trees inside one small seed. Why can he not pass an elephant through the eye of a needle? So Narad looks at this answer, and his mindset completely changes at, how much faith that ascetic had on the qualities of the Lord. He doubted that Krishna could do such a thing. And look at this man who is there, just a simple cobbler. All that he does is he recites the name of the Lord every now and then while he's doing his work. And and then um, and then he starts to feel sorry. He said, oh my goodness, this one is a real devotee of the Lord. But how bad Lord is. He said that he has all these leaves from this tamarind tree have to fall down. He has to be alive for as many, which means that, I don't know how many lifetimes. There'll always be, new, how the leaves fall down. Some new leaves come, old leaves fall down. How is this going to happen? How is it going to happen like that? So while he's feeling so bad, suddenly we see the big bird is flying overhead, and that is Garuda. He comes and he flaps his wings. When Garuda flaps the wings, all the leaves of the tamarind tree fall down. One go like that. So you see, patience. Patience is like that. So I'd like to leave you with that thought of a tamarind tree. Let us all be patient
Taji.
in our devotional service. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyev cha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo
Yo
namaha.
namo
Go
namah.
Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol. So tomorrow we have a Japa session by Vaisheshika Prabhu. And on 20th of February, and I'll have the details soon, Nirakla Mataji is going to also come online, and she'll be talking to devotees.
Mataji, is that on Zoom?
I think
Because in that
yeah,
it says only Facebook and then YouTube.
and that's fine.
There's no Zoom, huh?
That's fine. That's fine. You're getting her.
I'm so spoiled, Mataji, with the Zoom.
Have patience.
That's what I told you already. I'm trying my best, Mataji.
Okay.
But
it was not a patience thing. My comment was, I was just joking.
No, I'm just.
But no. But what quality is that I'm trying to inculcate?
adjust to whatever you're given.
Yes.
Take what comes.
And what is that called? Take what is that called? There's a word for that. Starts with S.
Steadfast.
Steadfast.
Steadfastness.
Steadfast. No.
I give you, and then you are happy with whatever I give you.
Satisfied.
Satisfaction, exactly, right? Satisfaction. Come what may, yeah.
Kamala Mataji. You know everything. I don't have patience now.
That is good. If Komal Radhe Mataji knows everything, we should be happy that we have got her association. Because why?
No,
Because you
give
become
me
like
some.
you. I learned it from you. I was zero.
There you go.
But give me some.
Whatever. See, humility. There you go. So if you associate with people with these virtues, then you're going to get them. That's the principle of association. You'll become like them. So we should actually be happy if we are surrounded by people who are better than us. It is always a happy situation.
Yeah.
That's why I like this company, Mataji.
That's why I like this company. Yeah, too. There you go.
I like so much. Thanks to everybody.
Fantastic.
Happy Valentine's Day on Sunday.
Mataji, we have regular Bhakti Vriksh tomorrow, right? 6
We
o'clock.
have regular Bhakti Vix tomorrow, and let me just really quickly check up because I was asked to have a book distribution meeting, and I don't think it's that late in the evening. I know that, but I just wanted to confirm. Where was she?
6 o'clock we had the class.
That is at 6:25, I think, Shraddha Mataji.
Which one?
The book distribution. one.
The one, right? The one that Malini Mataji has asked us to attend?
Yeah, that's on Sunday, I feel.
It's a Sunday
Or
at
6:20
6:25? Oh,
in the
that's why.
morning. In the
Okay.
morning.
In the morning. Okay. Then I'll have to miss my class. I'll have to tell my teacher. Okay. And you all also, I'll have to miss this class also. The Sunday morning Bhagavad Gita class also I'll have to miss. Okay, it's on Sunday morning.
It's on
Tomorrow evening
February
at 6
14th.
o'clock, Mataji.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's at 6:25 on Sunday morning.
Okay. 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 So then that's good. That's good. At least as far as this is concerned, that we'll have the class at the regular time then tomorrow. Bhakti breaks at 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yeah,
Okay.
then I will make the announcement in the group.
You
Then we will have Bhagavad Gita class or no, Mataji?
know,
Day after. I mean, your day after.
yeah, it won't be possible because she's saying 6:25.
It won't be possible. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Mataji, next class, Mataji, I request you to please explain little quality of steadfastness, Mataji.
Steadfastness.
How to be.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is steadfastness called in English?
Steadfastness.
In Sanskrit. Sorry, Sanskrit. Sorry, my bad.
Just now I read. Oh, God.
Dhriti.
Dhira.
No.
Is it Dhira?
Tristi or something.
Dhriti.
Priti.
Dhriti. Yeah. And who is Dhriti? Do we know somebody by the name Dhriti?
Yeah, of course.
And who is it?
Neelam and Nilesh's daughter.
Daughter. Is she steadfast?
She is very steadfast, Mataji.
Right. Yeah.
Whenever I ask her, how are you? She says good. And I asked her, why are you so good? And she's like, Krishna made me like that.
Yeah, such a nice way of, connecting everything to Krishna and being grateful for whatever you have.
Everything will connect Krishna. So my patients also had to connect with Krishna.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so I'd like to take permission to
So
leave.
Dhriti is steadfastness, Mataji.
Here we go. 10.34. 10.34 says, Mrityu sarva harashaham udbhavascha bhavishyatam kriti shrirvakcha narinam smritir medha dhriti shamaha. And for dhriti, it says firmness. And
firmness.
Shama, it says patience. And what do you understand about steadfastness in general from the word steadfast?
Shama? Is that Shama?
No. Steadfast is as if you are, tied to a place and you will not waver here and there, right? Your Shraddha is strong. You're not focused. You're like a banyan. Yeah, you're like a banyan tree.
Steadiness.
Committed. You're committed, devoted, loyal. All these are, steady, steadfast comes from there. Comes from that. Unwavering, unrelenting, all the
unwavering. Okay.
Unwavering.
Yeah. And
thank you,
yes, and about a devotional service, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? It says that your devotional service in your mind becomes like a lamp that does not waver, right? In a windless area. When there's no wind, the lamp will not waver, right? The flame.
Yes.
And you don't waver also. Unwavering is also there. Okay. All right, let's just call it a day here today. Vanchikalpatarubhyacha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaste. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you so much, Facebook.
Thank you, Shraddha Mataji, as always.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all the
Thank you
devotees.
so much.
Thank you so much for your association.
Everybody, all the devotees. As I said, Sunday, happy Valentine's Day to everybody.
Mataji, you have to come to our class tomorrow to remind us, tomorrow evening, to remind us about Sunday Valentine Day.
Oh, okay. Evening I'll come, Mataji, anyway.
All righty, good.
Mornings are missing.
We celebrate Valentine every day with Krishna.
Yeah, yes, Yes, good Krishna. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Or you
Hare Krishna.